One-foot-flipper.
Hi, Paige here, the One Foot Flipper. It is Wednesday morning, and I figure it's time for a video because I'm trying to get back to my normal schedule again. So, you gotta see that this is gonna be a bit of a nonsense video because some of the things in this video will happen wildly out of order in both the order you see them and the order they recorded. Particularly, you're gonna hear me talking about losing my GoPro. You heard me talking about that in my last video. See, I lost my GoPro 2 separate times. And I found it 2 separate times now, so it's been found both times. But the part you're going to hear most about in this one is about the first time I lost my GoPro. While it was the second time in the previous video. Yeah, isn't this riveting content? Paige loses his GoPro again. How riveting. Sorry, I can't make bigger mistakes than that. I try. Oh my, do I try. I try all the time. Alright, what I do want to talk about today is quantity listings. Do you have quantity listings? Do you have an old account, you've been using quantity listings for a long time? You know, it's where you got more than one of something. You know, you don't just have one sealed VHS copy quickly down under. You got 10 all in the same listing, and when somebody buys one, they, you know, it comes out of the quantity, and quantity ticks down by 1. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you didn't already know this, if you've been using quantity listings, and particularly for a long time, then you probably have wildly incorrect stock numbers and a whole bunch of orphan items that don't have listings. That's because the eBay system, when somebody cancels an order for a quantity item, it does not put that quantity back into inventory at all. Apparently it never has. Not that it says this anywhere or anything like that. Like, I first heard about this on the eBay forums like a year ago, and I assumed that, you know, well, that's a big deal. That's just gotta be a temporary bug, right? They're gonna fix that immediately. I mean, that's got to be like one line of JavaScript or Perl code or whatever eBay is written in. Any junior developer working for eBay could fix that. It couldn't be that hard. I know it couldn't be that hard because I can't program and I don't know Perl. And I had, on 2 separate occasions, I had code patches in Perl accepted to a website that I used to be a member of. Because it literally, that sort of function is that easy. And it would have to be easy because there's already a function in there to relist the listing if the listing itself went to 0. And for that matter, what I've never checked is if you had a quantity listing and somebody bought the last one and then they cancel the order, does the automatic relist it back to the original quantity like it does if you hit the relist button normally? If so, that could be where a lot of those, you know, phantom listings could be coming from. Could be. I'd suggest just being careful, watching all your cancellations so you don't end up with phantom items, because in the case of my card store, there's nothing I can do. I've got 27,000 cards that I know of in my card boxes. I can't try to verify all those against the listings to find out, you know, the phantom ones or what numbers are wrong. That would take months. I wouldn't get my return on my investment for doing that at all. It wouldn't make any sense. On my normal account, sure, a lot of times I find the phantom, you know, those orphan items just when I'm moving things from one bin to another, consolidating bins. But when it's a situation like your cards, your postcards, or something else where there's thousands of something that are just filed in a row, basically once you lose track of that item in inventory, it's gone forever. It's just going to sit on that shelf forever, taking up space, having your money invested into it, and never, ever being sold. Hi, Paige here, the One Foot Flipper. Once again, I find myself doing what I seemingly do every day, which is taking my doctor to a dentist or orthodontist appointment. It isn't every day, or even close, but what happens, you see, I don't leave the house that much. 90% of the time when I leave the house, it's either to go to the Goodwill bins or to take my daughter to a dentist or orthodontist appointment, which are in the same building. So it seems like the same thing to me every time. So it seems like I'm doing this every week. It also makes me sleepy too. Well, I have done it again. I have filled my place up with more stuff than'll fit. And I need to fix that. I need to fix it for good. I need to reduce the amount of space that my business takes up. Keep it from intruding into other parts of my house. Keep it from intruding into my bar/gaming area. And hopefully maybe get my giant CRT into my bar/gaming area. I've got a really big VGA CRT. VGA means it's got the computer plug on it, but it's like a 33 or a 36 incher. Quite a rare thing to have, but it's just sitting there being unused because it is just sitting there being unused because it's on a shelf in my eBay area, like I would be using it there for some reason. I mean, technically, I guess I could unplug some stuff from it and either, I don't know. It is another one of those days. Better than yesterday. Yesterday, I spent a good chunk of the day looking for stuff. I think you might hear about some of that in this later in the video, because just because you see something in my video in a certain order does not mean it was recorded in that order. Yesterday, I spent a good chunk of my day looking for my mannequin head, which my wife had apparently decided that she wanted to clean up the front room. Didn't ask her to. The front room is, where I do most of my business. And the mannequin head ended up on a shelf 7 feet in the air behind something, where I would never in a million years put it. What she didn't do is carry the tub of stuff downstairs that I desperately needed to go downstairs, that I had in the carry the stuff downstairs spot. That we got unnecessarily cleaning done, though. Lost an hour to that mannequin head. Then we collectively lost, between me and my wife and my daughter, lost about 3 hours to finding my GoPro, because it had also poof disappeared. Well, this time it was me. I put it someplace weird, and then somehow it fell behind something else, and my GoPro on a tripod thus disappeared in a very small area. And I wrecked most of the rest of my day looking for it. So let's hope for better days ahead. All right, I have wonderful news. I've been missing my GoPro. I could not find it. I lost it. I hate filming on other media, but I found my GoPro. It was, of course, exactly where it belonged, right inside an unlabeled bag, shoved into the shelf full of boxes down in the basement. How could that have happened? Probably my daughter. She was probably asked to carry down these boxes in this bag, and she shoved them both on the same shelf. But I've got it now. Had my first sale on Depop, an STL hat on the Adams tag with a leather strap. This sold for $12. I use Crosslist.com software to cross-list this to Depop. I'm starting to get those cross-listing sales coming in now. If you want to try it out, I've got a code. I've got a coupon code and a referral code and all that down at the bottom. And it is worth trying out. That software has been making me change my mind about cross-listing. Bath & Body Works Glitter Duck. Can you believe these are worth $9? Well, they are. Sold in less than a month for $9. Sold another hat, this one on eBay. A soft pretzel strap back hat. Unbranded. Sold for $10. This is a map of America, a laminated classroom style map of America. I generally buy anything that looks like a poster that shows up at the Goodwill bins. That sold for $12.88. And then I keep the proper boxes in stock to ship that stuff. Matter of fact, I need to order some more of them right now. So somebody asked me in the comments if I've ordered them yet. If I haven't, I'm going to be a naughty boy, because I'm only going to have one of those left after I ship that out. And one day could get me with that. I sold this folding saw blade knife. I gave my Bob $6.16. This has been in my store for like 2 years, but it's gone now. You're not going to see it because I forgot it upstairs, but I sold Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Collector's Edition for the PC, $16. I got that from Zach, so he's going to get some money on his spreadsheet. For $7.63, I sold this little bag of metal Warhammer 40,000 tank bits. Yep, all 5 of them are still in there. And the same customer also bought this lot of 8 painted Imperial Guard Ratling snipers. Ratlings are the Warhammer 40,000 equivalent of like halflings or dwarves or something. They're little humans. Alright, it has been a slow day, so that's all I got for sales for today, but this video will probably have more than one sales segment, so you can watch those later. Alright. I'm wearing this hat not as a political statement because I'm not a very political person. I don't care. I write in Kevin's name on every election that I ever vote in. But I'm wearing it because I'm going to talk about missing the boat on something, or holding the bag for too long. I had somebody, a viewer, send me an email, and it was about the subject of eBay hiding items, and it was specifically in relationship to a 2020 Trump hat that he had for sale, and how he thought eBay might be hiding listings to keep his nicer Trump hat from being sold somehow. And not an insult to the viewer in any way, because hey, maybe he could be right for all I know. But I'm gonna go ahead and take this off now and put my regular hat for this video back on. See, the problem is though, the boat's already sailed for the Trump hats. It's gone. Your opportunity is over with. Trump hats right now already have a sell-through rate that keeps continuing to get worse. And 2020 Trump hats in particular, their sell-through rate is now measured in years. Many years. If you look at it on paper, it looks like 2020 Trump hats have a 2-year sell-through rate. But then when you actually go through and look at the solds, it's like 90% false hits. 90% of those solds do not say 2020 on them at all. It's just got 2020 somewhere in the item specifics or in the description someplace which is causing it to hit on the phrase 2020, even though it doesn't have it. If you're holding on to that Trump merch, you've held on to it for too long. Political merchandise, people are most interested in political merchandise while their candidate is running, not once their candidate wins. Everybody who wants a Trump hat already has one. Everybody who for some reason wants one and doesn't have one, guess what? They can buy one of the many, many, many numbers of them that are still clogging Chinese warehouses and can be purchased on eBay for $5 and $6 shipped. Brand new. Why would they want this? Why would they want this used one? I have this on eBay for $1.99. It's not going to sell. You see, and it's never going to get any better. My Reagan Bush 84 hat, still not valuable 40 years later. And Trump hats are the most overproduced political hat ever. Both because I think Trump went out of his way to garner the support of a lot of the kind of men who wear hats, and he wore his own hat, which really shot it through the stratosphere to how many of those hats got made. So if you're holding on to Trump hats, get rid of them. And the t-shirts are the same way. The 2020 Trump t-shirts have ridiculous multi-year sell-through rates now. And it's only getting worse. Trump t-shirt, Trump shirts are worse than Trump hats, much worse than Trump hats in general. You've missed the boat. And this isn't particularly about politics. This could be, you could miss the boat in a lot of things. And you can just hold on to it for too long. I'm sure, plenty of people miss the boat on their Beanie Babies or their Funko Pops. But there's a lot of boats out there that you could be missing. And if you've got a lot of quantity on something, you should really do a little bit of research to see, is this item slowly going bad? Is this trending down? Do I really want to have 5,000 count of Bachmann Big Hauler bridges when the average age of the average model train builder is 69 years old, and I only sell one of them a month. Just a little something for you to think about there. All right, let's get on to that next segment. In the last month, I really have been enjoying cross-listing with Crosslist.com software. You're going to see a full tutorial video about that from me soon. I was just wanted to reach out with them to make sure to see what exactly, if anything, they want me to have in it. They're not paying me to make the video, but they did give me access to their software for free. So, I want to make sure I make nice with that. It has a lot of cool features. I'm really liking it. And I've got a promo code down below there that will actually get you some money off. And if you use it, I'll also get a little bit of money, which would be helpful since my YouTube account is not making a dime right now, and I'm still making the videos anyway. So yesterday in a video, Carry American Arbitrage was making fun of the overall low quality of the hats that I have available in various venues and on live auctions. And honestly, Carrie's 100% right. I spent 2 months working on an experiment. I did a conscious decision of buying every single hat I could get my hands on at the Goodwill bins. Because the buy price was super low, I specifically wanted to learn hats. I wanted to look up 1,000 different hats. I wanted to see what people want, see what people don't want, see what sells and see what doesn't sell. And now I have so much more knowledge in that area. So when I finally do restock on hats, I'll be able to be very selective and not just have an overall low quality. Because when you learn a niche, you might have to start out a little bit bad in it before you can get any better. I mean, I guess I could have just spent months trying to research hats, but it seems to sink in better when you do the work yourself than when you read about it, when you read about somebody else doing it. And I think particularly in hats, because all you really see other pickers selling are very sports hats or very specific, super duperty cool trucker hats. You never see anything else in between, even though there's all sorts of other hats that sell really good. They don't talk about those very much. Some of my best hat sales have not been the kind of hats that I ever see any pickers talk about. They've been bucket golf hats and straw hats and things like that. Not Trump hats or St. Louis Cardinal hats or Quigley Down Under hats. I don't have a Quigley Down Under hat, by the way. That's one of the only things my collection is missing, because I've got somebody told me they bought me the soundtrack, so that should be on the way soon. I've got the movie on every format now other than, what's the new one? It's not that new, Blu-ray. I don't have Blu-ray. And obviously I don't have the 35mm actual print of the film that would be used in the movie theaters, but stuff like that doesn't come up that often. So I like to keep 2 of everything critical to my business. I have 2 computers, I have 2 scales, I have 2 tape guns, I have 2 label printers. I basically have 2 of everything. And I did have, when I was looking for my GoPros, I did have somebody email and ask me, why didn't I have a second GoPro? Mostly because the GoPro is not mission critical to my business. I can shoot video on a cell phone or a webcam if I have to. And plus, right now, while I'm demonetized, my YouTube part of my business isn't making any money at all right now either. So, is it really part of my business right now at this point? It is for the financial year, because I will be monetized again, but I'm not going to spend $850 to have a second GoPro kitted out the way that my current one is with the accessories and everything else. Just wouldn't make any sense, because all that would cause me to do is to lose one GoPro and not worry about finding it because I had the other one. And then I'd end up with 2 lost GoPros instead of 1 lost GoPro, which isn't really a situation that you want to be in. I'm really good at losing, though, really small, expensive items. I lost my Steam Deck for months. Lost my GoPro twice in the past week and a half. All right, let's just say thank you to all of you who stuck with me until the end here. And I hope to see you again soon.
See, that's One Foot Flipper's nonsense video.
Alright, now that it's just me and you here, I wonder something. You ever hear people talk about how certain kind of cars, they last forever? And they're usually, most specifically, are usually applying this to Toyota Camrys and Honda Accords or Civics, and how those cars just last forever. Now I have to wonder, if these cars last forever, where are all the old ones? Go try and buy a Toyota or a Honda from the 80s. Try to find one for sale. Oh, you'll find some Toyota trucks and their SUVs. You'll find very, very few Hondas of any sort from the 80s. Few from the 90s either, and usually they'll be beat when you do find them. Very rarely a nice example. So, if these cars last forever, where are the old ones? I could go out tomorrow and in my very town probably buy 15 93 Buick Skylarks. You know, that compact V6 one? But I couldn't go buy a single 92. I couldn't buy a 92 Camry tomorrow if my life depended on it. Not without going to another state. Something to think about.